Things like the way the Ashe, the Skarner that we saw in game number 1. And I think this is a very wise pick right here because it makes you start thinking of picks that can take down the Skarner. Tristana being one of them, but has been banned out by JDG.
Yeah, leaving some seriously powerful meta picks right now up and on the table.
Ooh.
This would be a big one. We have seen this have success in this Scar. As I really want to see. Okay, they are going to lock that one in. Maybe even have a couple of the big meta picks in bot lane up. The Ashe providing a lot of utility.
Yeah, and I wonder if this is going to be a wayside for the side of FPX as well. We're talking like insane S-tier picks all across the board right here. The Rumble, the Ashe, Leona has been one of my favorite picks recently as a support. Having an extra non-committal engaged tool in the likes of her ultimate has been huge in terms of success. You see mobile AD carry in the bot lane as well. There you go, support or AD carry doesn't matter. With Ashe, you're forcing a cleanse as a summoner spell as well. So huge stuff right here. A kill bot lane coming out from FPX.
This might be a kill bot lane on both sides. I do really like the Varus strength they provide. Also the flexibility of the builds that you see now. The Renata going to provide a lot of engage potential, or re-engage potential rather, as well for JDG.
This is a brawl. This is an absolute brawl. Because we saw what happened with the Rumble versus Skarner matchup in the previous game, especially when the some attention paid towards the Skarner to pin down the Rumble, take the summoners early on. You've got kill bot lane for FPX down the bot side of the map. So I feel like MilkyWay's pick is going to be so important to sort of gauge what side of the map he wants to play for mostly. For me right now, it's mostly looking like you want to play towards that Varus Leona, play towards shutting down that Ashe early on, but also you need to keep in mind the possibility of a lane swap, because FPX do have that tank that wouldn't necessarily be too forced off of resources if a lane swap was to occur.
Kindred ban, very rightfully targeted at MilkyWay. It'll be an Azir ban, actually, towards Yagao here. Trying to take away some of that setup from the mid lane as well. Yagao, another important crux for JDG. Having versatility there is important to enable Kanavi.
I know that way is open here, but I think I would rather see Yagao on something like the Talia. Something more of a roaming pick, if you will, onto this mid lane, especially if they're playing kill lane bot. Your Rumble could be in trouble, something that can shove and roam.
Let's go.
We have seen a lot of Ares. We have seen a lot of Ares actually do that. So I'm loving that pick right here. Looking in the Ari, though, to me, it's sort of a setup for your jungler. So what could possibly Kanavi go for? They have given him last pick.
It's
This
counter,
is one of the
baby.
This is one of the very few times where you're giving your jungler R5, but we're talking about Kanavi going up against MilkyWay, so you want to secure a very favorable matchup.
So MilkyWay is going to take the Graves there. We'll look what the next pickup is going to be by FPX, but that is that hard movement and tempo jungler.
So the only favorable matchup that I know of, one of the only, is Kindred into Graves, because you can outrange. Graves can never kill you. Graves can never reach you. However, right now, I wonder what Kanavi is going to go for. Is he going to result towards a Zinzao releasing again and just takes a straight-up brawl towards FPX?
I feel like we're hearing the box arena get a little quiet. The music is starting to play with the R5 JDG's King in the Ring. Kanavi about to lock in his pick here. Needs to find something that can combat the Graves, go blow for blow with them, and he's going to go for the Vi. You love the lockdown it can provide, and the combo with him and Yagao now is going to be huge.
All I'm seeing from the set of JDG is just so much unrelenting engage. The charms, the Ashe arrows, the rel engages, the carpet laid down on them from the set of the Rumble. However, if you look towards FPX, they're not lacking any engage either. I feel like the first person that will pull the trigger from each team will be taking a member down from their opponents instantly. That is so scary. I'm looking at both comps and I'm like, this is so scary.
It really is. I love some of the ideas that FPX have. The go buttons that they have are going to be so immense because the follow-up is so big. On the other side, I want you to pick apart exactly how this early game can play out for JDG.
JDG do have the Ari Vi, a very potent duo, level 6. You can look to utilize that potentially for some neutral objective fights early on. You've got Ash Arrow as well. You have so many tools to pin down members at your disposal if you are JDG. However, in terms of damage for the side of FPX, that Graves could be very scary if you just allow him to roam freely and take a lot of that farm. And also, early priority is going to be key because that Graves can very easily also invade a Vi early on.
Well, we'll see if FPX can go toe-to-toe with the giants of this group. And I think the fact of the matter is, Game 1's about to be a banger. All right, we got the Gios a little bit stronger for JDG, rightfully so, in their home arena. But I think the early game is going to be super important. Keeping an eye on MilkyWay and Kanavi. The level 1s we've seen already a lot tonight will continue. We got some vision being played here, though, Trouble.
Yeah, they're going to take down that ward, that vision off of FPX. And this is something that you can very sneakily do what MilkyWay did, for example, if nobody's in there. I think they saw the Vi being around. However, you can hover around and they will never know where exactly you placed that ward. Is it towards the birds? Is it in the brush? Is it towards that red buff? So you don't necessarily know where the vision is. As you can see, they're going to ping it right now. I think JDG are aware that the red buff has been warded. So Kanavi is just going to avoid it for now. He's just going to let the ward die. For all they know, FPX, Kanavi could have started at birds and then headed towards the bot side of the map, which is what a lot of the junglers will do. However, he's going to take a full clear from bot side to top, trying to avoid potentially Graves.
And as you see on your screen, Sheer, man, I want to talk about here, taking the place of Flandre. He's been under Flandre's wing, or at least under the wing of JDG for a while now, at least this last 2024 year so far. But he's been a developmental project for them. He's very young. He's 18. Very little, at least, written competitive experience on the Western research web. But I think the fact is that, like, he can provide a little bit more of that pressure from topside, and I wonder if he's going to be able to combat the Skarner here at all.
We'll see that one wrong step versus the Skarner could be completely detrimental to your lane as well. However, luckily for Sheer, there were no lane swap shenanigans. I was just about to say that. Now, look on your both side screens right here, because MilkyWay is just about to walk on a ward, which then allows Kanavi to freely clear towards his top side of the map. I think it's very scary to know that there is a Graves around. So MilkyWay is going to be spotted right here. Kanavi knows that he's safe to pass towards that top side of the map.
That's a level 2 level of the Hawk shot, so they are playing very importantly around MilkyWay and trying to figure out where Kanavi can path to, because early advantages for JDG will give them control around the map, whereas it feels like once you're getting to good teamfight setups for FPX, that's where their strength lies, because they just have the tools to go forward.
Absolutely, and also JDG are a team that are not shy of engaging, of finding these possibilities. Now Kanavi, I think he's looking towards the top side of the map potentially. Xioalaohu is going to take a huge chunk of his HP melting here, so full control of the top side of the map for Kanavi and JDG. They're going to be swapping pressure points. Top side for JDG, bot side for FPX.
Pretty matched jungle clears. Both junglers clearing out those crabs. Now see where they want to go. Kanavi's going to go for the first reset here. MilkyWay going to go check the Gromp, see if maybe Kanavi was playing a little finicky with his clear. He does have priority in bot side, so it makes it a little safer there. This combo in mid lane, though, Yagao going to get traded on very heavily by Care. And Care isn't even online yet. That level 6 mark with a flash, that's what's deadly.
And I want to actually speak a little bit about Yagao, because a lot of the pressure of the quote-unquote failure of JDG in the spring split fell onto the shoulders of Yagao, of him not taking the correct, trades in the mid lane, losing a bunch of the matchups, not being the engage that his team needed and all that. And in hindsight, sure, it hasn't been the greatest of splits for Yagao, but when he stepped up, he really did, and it absolutely showed for his team. Now it's in terms of it being consistently, you know, because we're like, oh, playoffs, Yagao always turns up. However, it's more about JDG establishing their dominance off the get-go, and Yagao is such a pivotal pawn in the whole strategy of JDG being able to be that dominant team yet again and chase that international.
JDG going to be spotted out down here on the bottom side. Looks like they might want to go for an early dragon. Kanavi starting that one up and pushing the tempo of the map here. MilkyWay is on the way down here, but does still have some of his jungle to clear on this side, but he's looking to go influence bot side right now.
MilkyWay, he did smell that dragon coming through, even though Kanavi did dip into it through Fog of War. This might actually
50-50?
be a 50-50 because Ruler are missing.
Oh, who's going to get it? We're in the boxing match, and it's going real well. It's MilkyWay that strikes the first blow, but it was merely a scratch. He almost goes down a bloody lip, but he makes it with the first objective. Take it by FPX.
You know what? First punch has already landed. That's a point for MilkyWay. Gets the first objective care. Level 6. When you don't have level 6 onto this Vi, you cannot engage on that one. And I would say that this is a pretty Mercs heavy game from both teams. So much CC coming out from both teams, but in particular, mostly for the sort of FPX when you got things like Annie and Leona.
Oh, that's a little bit of...
Just like that.
Yeah.
That's like
that's
that.
Level 6.
That's a Mercs diff right there.
A big bear.
Level 5 for Kanavi. Maybe after the Skull Crab, he hits that level 6. You could potentially look for a play onto Karis. Annie, you do have ultimate onto Yagao. You've got your Rel in the middle as well. It's not quite going to be the case. They're going to focus towards the Void Grabs.
Should be able to easily clear that up with the Flame Spitter of Sheer helping out there as well. FPX moving towards the bot side of the map was trying to get some invade potential for MilkyWay, but that's the thing about these two junglers is they can clear so quickly. There hasn't really been windows for MilkyWay to steal anything away. He will end up getting the blue buff on spawn here and maybe taking the Gromp, but a little bit of presence will be provided by Missing as he transitions back down bot side.
It also has to do a lot with priority, right? If you don't have a very clear priority lane somewhere, Missing and Ruler are going to try to contest, but you can't really contest versus a Smite holder. They're pinging the Skarner towards the top side of the map. I'm not sure how easily that champion dies. However, he is 50% HP. He's taking a huge chunk, actually, of his HP bar. So the second that wave crashes onto tower, they could potentially be looking for a dive. It is a kind of wave, and Kanavi has level 6.
Yeah, he does have level 6. It does suppress you with the Impale. We'll end up getting the Equalizer out from Sheer there to just do some damage to the wave and try to get some more chip damage onto Xioalaohu. The blue was not secured by Kanavi, so it'll just be a trade back and forth of some jungle camps from either side with a reset.
Very slow, very calculated from both teams. Usually we see this being the case if it's a best of 5 series and it's going to game 5, best of 3 series and it's going to game 3. However, both JDG and FPX do not want to leave an inch. All of the gold advantage from the side of JDG has been through individual laning. You see top side is quite ahead, bot lane is quite ahead as well. Of course, Ruler and Missing being one of the best bot lanes in the entirety of LPL. They have consistently been getting advantages, no matter the matchups down the bot lane. But Deokdam and Life, I thought they were going to pull the trigger right there, but Leon is not quite level 6 yet.
The thing I've had the most fun of in thinking about this matchup here is you have Ruler Missing or consistently trying to be the top of the table in standard for LPL bot lanes, whereas Deokdam and Life have kind of set a standard of their own with wacky, crazy picks. They were ones to bring over some ridiculous combos from the LCK over last split, and they've continued some of that with the Blitz Cranks and things like that. Meanwhile, I'm looking mid lane, and that's a little bit of payback there for dropping that Tibbers on him, and it's going to hurt real good. That's a first kill for Kanavi and Yagao, and JDG set out on pace.
I didn't know Ruler was playing Caitlyn right here because that hit from half a map away. What a great snipe all the way down from bot lane. The further away the arrow, the more time you get stunned. You don't have Mercs. Unlucky for K right there. Ends up going down. Doesn't block his flash, very importantly. So in the next skirmish that possibly FPX could take, the flash Tibbers is still a possibility. He learned his lesson, instantly purchases Mercs. He knows now. He knows.
How unfair is it to give Ruler these kinds of tools, though? The man is so calculated in the way that he approaches and able to set up Yagao. That's the kind of synergies that maybe we're lacking last split. We're starting to see come alive for JDG and why they've been so strong. And Potent giving it missing wants to fight that a little bit. It's a 3v2. They will not be able to deny the Garomp from FPX, so some more stealing going down. The Dragon is coming up here in 40 seconds or so. Another round of the Grubbies coming up in a minute. Would be 6 total for JDG.
Ooh, he threw it from Fog of War. I really want to say great aim, but this was fantastic aim from Ruler. Everyone dives forward from JDG. Great team play right there. Also from Kanavi being ready to force a fight like this. And they're going to dip into river and get a bit more control since that dragon is spawning in about 10 seconds.
And I love it because now we get to talk about bot lane because they're doing things. I think Ruler and Missing haven't been the big priority since last year, really. They've had some strengths in spring, but summer has been a little bit more about the rest of the map. I'm excited to see Ruler have big impact still. He's going to have one here, though, because they've already gotten engaged onto. Charm is going to connect. Kanavi's almost dead, and Deokdam is taking a kill there. Huge stuff from FPX to find a couple back. As Yagao going in, he wants the Charm play.
Yagao?
He does still have that Spirit Rush there he used, but the Dragon goes to FPX, a couple kills go to FPX, and now they're the ones running the train.
I'm so confused. I'm so confused. They knew that they were right there. Ruler does have the ult. He does have the ult. Okay, you know what? We take the long range better ones, okay? We don't do short range anymore. We just throw them halfway across the map, and then we hit.
3-pointers, not the short range jumpers, you know?
Yeah, exactly. We want the difficult ones, not the easy ones. However, FPX, huge pick right there from them because they have been bleeding through the map a lot. Now JDG are going to sneak the Void Grubs and actually get the buff for themselves. If nothing happens right here, it should be 6, all of them actually, going to the side of JDG. And honestly, that fight was a little bit worrisome from JDG. They didn't necessarily have the tools, they didn't have the setup. Missing just walks in, he gets absolutely blown to pieces by FPX. And again, we said that the first team... Oh,
Ruler's trying to sidestep him with the kiting.
Gen of Corruption is not...
It is not.
It's not off cooldown yet.
Getting a little close there in the bot side scuffles, though. We're going to return to the mid lane where we see very active FPX. I think it's important for them to be active. Yes, they have some really strong spacing and team fighting, but now Deokdam is the focus of the ire of JDG. I don't know if they're going to be able to complete this dive. They don't have the enchanted crystal arrow. Actually, he's missing. Going to have to crash down his way out of there. Chains of Corruption going to be flashed out of.
Whoa! Whoa! If you look on your mini-map, also MilkyWay and Life were on their way. So if the Chain of Corruption hits, potentially there could be follow-up from the side of FPX. Now, MilkyWay is going to get spotted by the Tribal Sword. So that's going to be it for the side of JDG. Nice cleanse by Ruler Insta.
Up the Captain Jack there, no big deal. As one of the best to ever play the game is going to have that in his repertoire. Now, FPX, I want to talk a little bit about their proactivity this game. They've been really good at staying on the map, staying on tempo with JDG. JDG, on the other hand, they're looking for picks. They're trying to utilize these CC combos that they have to find success.
I'm not gonna lie to you, this is a very even game, and even though on paper it might look quote-unquote boring because it doesn't have a lot of kills, these players have been playing to the max the whole time. If you look at the mid lane, Care has been popping down Tibers on cooldown. This is something that Knight does a lot on BLG to try and take control of a lane, to not allow Yagao to get out of lane with this Ahri and have that very potent Vi Ahri combo that we've been talking about. Xioalaohu right here takes the flash off of Seer. There have been cases where Ruler goes toe-to-toe down bot lane with Deokdam. You saw the cleanse being taken away from Ruler, from Life playing a little bit too aggressive. So the teams have been playing on their limits. It's just a case of they both know that the first team that commits first, the first CC that lands first, this team will most likely win the fight because they both have so much CC lockdown in these fights. That it's so difficult for anyone to survive a whole load.
I think the thing is also two times in a row now, JDG have kind of sniffed something out, like the flashes on bot side to get away from a play where they were collapsing. Just now, Sheer flashing out of that Impale, which would have led to FPX collapsing topside. Now we have Rift Herald with all tools readily available for JDG, and the Impale not so readily available for FPX. The Rift Herald started by them, though.
You've got level 11 Rumble with Equalizer. Oh,
that bear
boy.
is going to make a big difference. Kanavi goes in. They missed the charm combo, but Spirit Rush is active now. Solar Flare going to go in and lock down Sheer, but look at Ruler. He's been picking them apart every single time. Ruler's been untouched, and Ruler is king for a reason. He calculated every decision, and he cuts your throat with it.
Only 2 members need to be alive for JDG for them to win the fight. And this is Yagao and Ruler. Yagao got so many resets through this fight. They managed to keep Ash untouched. Missing right here, 07. He dies for the cause. Yet again, he takes every single bit of CC in. And Kanavi, with his dying breath, presses ultimate onto the Graves, which means he pins him down onto the Equalizer. The damage had already been dealt. Their resets came through for Yagao. What a fantastic fight for the duo carry of JDG.
What do you do when the man is space gliding all over you, dude? Like, I don't even know what the answer is there. I mean, maybe a little bit of focus towards him, but I think Ruler's going to have a fine time here. Now you've got the 2 active carries for JDG up and running. Yagao and Ruler, they have a lot of the decision-making power that JDG have, and that's what this comp does so well, and especially when they're ahead.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I would hate being Kanavi in this game. playing
07,
Vi,
Captain 07.
especially, yeah, playing Vi when you're flashless into a full CC team. You know that the second you press R, oh baby, you're going back to that gray screen.
To be fair, in the offseason, he got some time in practicing as a general when they went paintballing. So maybe this is his general instinct coming. He's like, I'm going to set you guys up just like when we were on the paintball field. We'll see if that actually happens here. Sheer coming up from behind. They have a very strong team fight when they can pull the trigger. FPX maybe not willing to take a fight here for a dragon. That would be JDG's first.
Yeah, they didn't have control of that mid lane, which means they didn't get to establish any vision into this river. It's going to be one dragon right here from JDG, and they're gonna walk back to taking some control over that mid lane wave that was pushed by FPX. However, JDG are looking like they want to take the fight towards FPX. There are no flashes on Ash or Ari.
Ruler again, so calculated. Care is excisioned from the rest of the team, and Ruler is free hitting all over again. It's looking like a deja vu moment, and it's one that FPX has their head and hands over. Back onto the Rift Herald goes FPX.
You know how we were saying that this is a top-centered meta? We don't see a lot of attention towards the bot laners. They're playing for Sheer, they're playing for the Rumble, they're playing around Yagao and Kanavi. Well, you know what? Ruler is gonna make it about himself, whether you like it or not, because that's how damn good he is. He sees Care onto this ward. Care does not have a cleanse available, so everyone dives onto it. And this is what we said instantly from JDG, that the second the first CC lands, JDG is not a team that is shy of throwing their bodies in and engaging. I feel like Kanavi has thrown his life out twice, trying to make sure that the first target that they hit actually dies.
Oh, Xioalaohu with the bait. He stopped his back.
Oh
no. He's just a little scorpion, man. Leave him alone. Okay.
A little scorpion?
Well, maybe a big one.
Have you seen this champion?
Yeah. But I think...
Are we seeing the same game?
I think the most crucial part is, like, it's the style of meta, right? Like, we're having the Ashe where you're getting a lot of early vision, a lot of communication from JDG, which I feel like was a problem point for them in their lackluster run in spring. And we're seeing a lot of that cohesion. Yes, it's early into the split, but it's definitely something that we've seen level up from spring to summer.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like they did everything they could to make sure they pinned down MilkyWay in the early game, making sure that Kanavi gets to that level 6 as fast as possible. This is where Vi pretty much peaks. However, if she gets stopped midway by a Graves or any other champion that wants to actually get into your jungle and brawl, it becomes very, very difficult to play the champion. -1 care. Everyone saw that. And if you look at the gold, the Vi is actually ahead. Like, even in CS, I'm not even gonna take in consideration any kills or assists. But this is Kanavi farming better on a Vi than a Graves.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. We're getting second items now for everybody, really, here in the game. Maybe MilkyWay a little bit behind that one. But with Baron coming up, another 2 minutes for Dragon. Nothing really onto the Rift. And that's where I want to bring up the conversation of Sheer, right? Sheer is coming in for Flandre, but he has come in before for Flandre. And it feels like some of that team workshopping, the off-season stuff, the in-season stuff that they've put together, the horse riding, it really has helped in a way to make it not feel like a big difference when Sheer is in over Flandre. Yes, there's some different picks, but they provide a lot of the same presence that enables the rest of the team.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like a lot of the trades that we saw earlier on from Sheer onto Xioalaohu were pretty on point as well. Shoving the wave when he needs to, taking those heavy trades, forcing that Skarner off of the tower. 2.3 thousand gold lead onto this champion. And even though we have seen plenty of B1 Skarners, not all of them end up being punished. And I feel like Sheer has done so well, even all alone in that lane on the 1v1 versus Xioalaohu, that he deserves actually the praise. And he has been one of those players that I've been looking for as JDG are looking for their next pick on the map.
And I love it because everybody on the team treats him like little brother. It is the cutest thing ever if you go watch any of the
I mean, he does look very, very young as well.
He's 18,
so
all right? He's a youngin'. He just got out of school.
He looks way younger than this. He looks way younger.
But he's very smart. He in the offseason, one of the videos, they talk about his percentile scoring on his testing coming out of school, and he is a very smart cookie. And see if he can help JDG secure this fight, but he ain't even here yet, and the rest of the team's already picking him apart without him. You got Ruler picking up one. He's fighting a big bear right now. Missing's going to give over his life, but now you're running away from an Ashe, and she's approaching velocity here. Back onto the bear, and JDG go, and an over 5,000 gold lead in their bucket.
JDG are looking to make it a super quick one. Yagao threading the needle with the charm through the blue buff to hit MilkyWay. Your smite is down, FPX. There is no way you're still in this Baron. Xioalaohu is going to try. Care. That's off his stun, but not Tibers.
He's going to go take it away. Oh, he's going to go for the flash X. Oh, double impact. And Deokdam is putting on his own Ruler performance here. But guess what? Ruler's just built different. And he's going to put them down. Sheer able to play Spitter a double kill back. Now Life is here. He does not have Solar Flare. And this is the problem. You get tagged once. You cannot run away safely without backup. Luckily, MilkyWay is there. Now FPX need to reposition for a dragon fight.
Oh, that looks so scary for JDG, but man, Ruler is a different monster on this Ashe. 4, 0, and 9, 2 items in, going for his Bloodthirster next. He's gonna make it in time, has the Hawkshot to get super vision for his team.
They've actually
got another arrow down.
They can just chase him down. They can just chase him down. The double CC there. Ruler is just running all over them. He's going to dodge out of the Solar Flare. A little bit of damage back from the collateral. And now you have a little bit of a fight potential. But Yagao has come with an RKO out of nowhere during a boxing match. I don't know who let him in here, but the refs got to get him. JDG run away with it.
That was not fair. He wasn't involved in this fight. How does he dare TP for that one, Yagao? Fantastic flank TP through the bot lane, securing JDG a bunch more kills, and the second dragon pushing that bot lane wave. Oh, the whole horse riding thing. I don't know if you get away from this Skarner though.
No.
Uh-oh.
That's not great. He's going to flash away. He does have the help of Kanavi here. Ruler getting low, but the equalizer comes over from Sheer. The lockdown onto Care, who is just completely taken out. Sheer gets himself another kill. Might be looking at an MVP-like performance from the top laner JDG here.
I'm just saying, you blink and you miss it. FPX are trying to make picks on the map. They find Ruler. He's overextended. Doesn't matter. Kanavi's flying from the side. Equalizer falls down. Missing is suddenly there. Yagao is teeping through the bot side of the map. JDG are on top of their game in this one. And again, the most consistently consistent team out of the top teams in the league so far in this group stage.
FPX struggling to find home on the map. They move up towards top side. JDG, they can just keep going.
There is no home.
Round
They've been pushed
after
out.
round. They're delivering hooks. They're delivering jabs. They're delivering every single punch you can imagine. And FPX are sitting there bloodied in the corner. It feels like this game one, this round one, has gone holistically towards Kanavi. Okay. Hey, Ruler. I practiced. It was practice. They were going to the practice range. He was shooting the arrow.
Your team,
they
bro.
had to do some archery in the offseason, so he's just really liking it, all right?
That guy's in your team.
We've seen a couple of those plays now over time here in the last week or so. Maybe some friendly fire there. I don't know. There's the Baron going, though, and it's going to come down now in 5 seconds. They're going to try to get this tier 2 in time. They do. So they do some lasting damage, get a little bit of that standing gold on the map.
Yeah, Reset's gonna come through. I'm assuming Bloodthirst. Oh, it's already completed actually for Ruler. So third item already done and dusted.
Already
possibly
charged
going
the
for something
card.
like an Infinity Edge. Yeah, that's the last item right there from Ruler. And I think this is pretty much of a done deal in terms of JDG winning this particular game. I feel all it takes is a 1R button to land from the side of JDG and everyone else follows. And I feel like they have the easiest follow-up basically, because even if Kanavi chooses to press R, it's a done deal. Another arrow. Heat-seeking at this point from Ruler, finding MilkyWay. And again, this is the point where you're like, okay, you need to stop Jason, but Yagao presses his F button, TPs, and the bot wave pushing in, absolutely annihilates FPX. JDG again. So clean with it. And is Ruler going to die in this game?
That's a great question. I think I asked the question at the very beginning, saying, you know, are we going to see an adaptation from JDG playing more around Ruler? Well, they just gave him the tools to make it his own.
He's
been
himself.
Literally building
it
his own self with these ultis, with these combinations.
He's the main character
He's
now.
Literally the main
you want
character.
it or not.
We'll see now if JDG can put the finishing touches on an FPX.
JDG are building up a little bit of vision control around Baron, which is coming up in a minute and a half. Taking control of the waves as well. I feel like JDG are just looking for somebody to just step up and try to get some vision control. Life is level 10. If you look at all the other members of JDG, apart from the support, everyone is 5 levels above Life. So whoever chooses to press their R button first from the side of JDG, I think Life will pretty much disappear like a magic trick.
The thing about the wave state and lane state right now is, I guess game state rather, is the even up dragons. I feel like that's a big priority to think about in terms of buying time for FPX. Is it you are still Skarner? You become unkillable as time goes on. I feel like we've seen the Varus have a lot of strength, and they still have a lot of those go buttons. But when you're 11,000 gold down, you have no control of the map. It becomes that much more difficult.
Yeah, and JDG are paying a lot of respect for that reason as well, because let's not forget, you mentioned you have the Skarner, you have the Anti-Tibers, you still have a lot of tools for FPX to pin someone down that's been isolated from the side of JDG. So making sure that you're always shoving the waves when you have vision, when you have the numbers advantage on that side of the map is going to be pivotal, and JDG have been so respectful so far in terms of not overextending, waiting for the Baron, which is going to be up in about 15 seconds.
FPX can only stand in their walls and watch as the beasts take hold outside.
Who face checks that?
Yeah, I mean, Life probably at this point.
You
do have Baron coming up. You also have Dragon coming up. So TP into the mid lane from Yagao to come rejoin the team. Actually have a really strong angle here. Yeah, they're just going to go onto the tank. Life, you might have wanted to. Yeah, okay. He gets out with the flash. And now that tool won't be available. That means JDG are going to force a play around Baron.
Yeah, that Ash Arrow is not a very long cooldown, however. You see a quarter of it already done and dusted, and JDG are about 11,000 gold rich, more than FPX, so they can literally just slap them with the money that they have in their inventories. Yagao,
Baron getting
low to life.
Less than 3,000 there. Re-engaged from missing with that equalizer on top of it. MilkyWay is in there. He steals it as he punches Yagao. And now might be able to get out. No? Okay, never mind. He's not out of there. Life is gone. Now Kanavi catches out Care. They stole the Baron, but what did it cost? It might just be everything, as the charm does not connect in the end. The Baron buff going to help with denying the siege a little bit, but JDG are going to hold no quarter.
Yeah, this is a little too late right there. MilkyWay had the right idea, seeing Kanavi jump out of the pit. He's like, yeah, that's my time to shine. Another arrow is going to hit. Ooh, the cleanse.
The CC chain is so deadly from JDG. Xioalaohu, the only member with Baron left. He's trying to buff up these minions as best as possible. Missing's running out of base, so they don't have a lot of their front line. JDG will end up backing off towards this dragon. Would be a third Hextech dragon in a row for them.
Again, I just want to showcase and highlight right here the willingness of JDG to just jump forward. You saw Deokdam instantly cleanse that Ash Arrow. Both Kanavi and Yagao insta-flashed into it. Now, you see, missing right here will get engaged into MilkyWay, and Kanavi will jump out of the pit for that one. Actually, oh no, he didn't. It was sheer. My bad, my bad. Kanavi stays in. He loses the 50-50. Fair play to MilkyWay. I thought it was actually Kanavi jumping out of the pit. It was sheer in the end. Trying to pretty much burn them to a crisp, and it was the case. JDG, they have too much gold. FPX did not back up in time. However, they have won themselves a couple more minutes.
Yeah, they've got a little bit of time for them. At least maybe 4.5. I don't know. We'll find out. The Baron's going to still be up there for Xioalaohu for a little while longer as well. So we're seeing some fight back from this composition. We're getting to third items now. Already completed for Deokdam and getting very close for MilkyWay on the other side. But now JDG look to close the grip.
Okay.
As,
now we're just throwing them out for fun.
Yeah, why not, I guess. If it hits anybody else but Xioalaohu in Life, I definitely think they all in for that. But don't think you're going to do that against Life.
I feel like it's a mini game at this point, you know? You're throwing them out to see how many you've hit. It doesn't matter if they're for fun or not, but if you have like a high percentage of hitting them, then that still counts.
Ruler's just playing games with them confirmed. Life going to be on the top side of this fight, try to block out missing. The turret is the big focus for JDG. If they can get another one down here, would be huge pressure on FPX in their own base. FPX, though, they've got some fighting potential. As we mentioned, MilkyWay is starting to get pretty strong in these extended skirmishes, and JDG is feeling the heat from it.
Yeah, it becomes a little bit difficult to shove a wave underneath a tower. Again, there are so many tools for FPX to try and turn these fights around, and with the addition of the tower, the assistance from the damage that the tower can do, you could potentially be taking some very important shutdowns. For example, Ruler has 700 gold as a shutdown on his back, 600 on Sheer, 200 onto Kanavi, and Kanavi is probably like the easiest target you could go for. That's why he does have the Guardian Angel as well. So JDG, again, they're one of the best teams that we have in the LPL. However, I feel like out of the 4 at the top, they're probably the slowest at ending their games. They're taking it very slow and calculated.
Yeah, we're getting like 4 items for them as well. We got a Magi's bot by Yagao. He's also got the Banshees now to block out some of that long distance engage we've mentioned so many times for FPX. That hesitancy, that respect definitely being shown. You wonder if they're just buying time to get to that next dragon. We've also seen, again, not just to continue in the theme of that like revenge tour I was talking about for JDG, but they go the extra mile. I'll just say that. Like, they are oftentimes like dominating games, and they'll wait for you to spawn in your base, and they'll try to kill you. It's just really funny how much domination they're trying to project onto the map. And even at, you know, an 0-5 MilkyWay, even at some really rough times in the top side map, FPX are giving some fight back.
Yeah, and JDG know that. That's why they're respecting the overextension right here. Again, Leona, Varus, Annie, Skarner. So much CC. You just jump onto a target, you take them down. Now, of course, JDG are not going to let that go like this. They're all going to jump on you themselves, and having so much more gold than you is going to mean that most likely FPX will lose the fight right there and then, but being underneath the tower, this could be the case. However, FPX are caught sleeping here. The tower's already gone.
That's really rough. That's a big wave there, too. FPX pulled off, and now caught out is Life. Big engage from missing arrow on top of it. Solar Flare's not going to do anything but block out your own son. They're fighting back. Kanavi's still alive. Deokdam still fighting, but Ruler is slowing everybody. And Sheer walking up with the flamethrower, as now Yagao missing that charm. They have a little bit of damage back. Deokdam has some good arrows. Life and Deokdam, maybe a bit of the crux, but Ruler wants to make the difference. Look at him! He can't get him under turret, but Ruler is all over the place, and he has completely dominated this game from head to toe. That is JDG smashing game number 1 of this best of 3. And I think it's safe to say it's Mike Tyson versus an influencer.
Ruler, stone cold. Did you look at his face while he was doing that? I was like, he's cracking a smile. There's no way. He's laughing while he's doing that. He's throwing his arrows right, left, center. Doesn't matter who they hit. He's smiling. He's like, stone cold. Whew. Absolute dominance from the 80 carry from JDG. We said, hey, he's playing more of a utility champion, you know? Like, he's playing Ash. He's going to be engaged in the fights from far away. He's going to give him a lot of the vision early on. No. He made it about himself, and he is going to be worth the MVP that I'm sure he's going to get.
100%. Sheer, you can have a good time, but Ruler will take it all day long.
Sorry, man.
We're going to step away for a little break. We did see a JDG that did not skip a beat with Sheer jumping in. We'll see if that continues.